All right, welcome to the Grizzled Geek Black Panther review.
The revolution will be live.
Yeah.
So we're going to jump into this thing here. We're going to do non-spoilers first. Then when a little spoiler icon comes up, we're going to be talking spoilers. We're going to get into it. Right out the bat, Doug, what did you think of this movie?
It's really, really good.
It's really good.
It's very well done. It's one of the best crafted of the Marvel movies. Top 3, in my opinion.
Top 3. Nice.
Crafting wise, it's hard to say where it ranks, and they're all so good that it's hard to say which is my favorite. It's
better than Iron Man 3 and Thor: Dark World.
Definitely better than both of those. Yes. Yeah, I think it's a really great movie, really well done. Not a bad actor in the crew,
right?
Or in the cast. They all did a great job. The sisters stand out for me.
Oh yeah, Shuri. Yeah, she was.
Yeah, she was awesome.
She was pretty. She was
a really
awesome.
fun character.
Yeah, she was a great character. Michael B. Jordan was amazing in this.
Yeah.
I mean, again, Marvel. Gets a complaint about the bad guys quite often, right?
Yeah.
But I think the bad guys in this one were standouts.
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah.
Both bad guys were really good.
Yeah, Andy Serkis is Claw, we knew that, and then Michael B. Jordan is Killmonger, and even Winston Duke is Baku, the man ape. They didn't call him man ape in the movie, but yeah, he's leader of the ape tribe or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Who's
a traditional bad guy in the comics, but he's a little bit different. There's little differences from the comic to the movie, but we'll get into that in the spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I think that was solid story, and this is definitely not a. While it does tie in with the greater Marvel universe, right? The effects of Civil War are definitely felt. In this movie, it's its own movie. This is
very little. Yeah, like you said, they make some references. They have to because in Civil War is when his father died.
Right.
But aside from that, they do not talk about the greater superhero universe. That never comes up.
No, there's a few nods here and there, but nothing's brought up. They don't mention any other heroes.
Yeah.
This is definitely Black Panther's movie, and it's definitely a Wakandan movie. Mm-hmm. It's all about just setting up that world. And Wakanda is. What do you think of Wakanda?
I really liked it a lot. The set design obviously most of it was probably CGI. I don't want to say set design, but the design of it, was really well done. It reminded me of like the set pieces of Asgard when you'd go through and go, ooh, here's Asgard, or
Asgard had like kind of an old
whatever.
feel to it. This felt more like a clean Sakaar from Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, well,
like the spires and everything like that. Like if Sakaar was shiny and clean and not run down, that's what it kind of reminded me of.
Well, here's the thing, from my take on it, that it was very modern looking and high tech, except it's architecturally harkened back to more kind of tribal origins. Like the tops of the buildings were rounded like a hut.
Yeah.
Some of them even looked like the buildings were made to mirror like they were thatched or something like that.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't, it was high tech construction, stuff like that.
Definitely the tribal aesthetics were prevalent. I mean, I like you mentioned a point where you have the dichotomy of this high tech society, yet you still have people living on the veldt.
There's like pastoral life and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
People riding horses. And then people riding bullet trains, people, people tending goats, and people making super weapons, or whatever.
Right. So
it was very interesting.
Everybody benefiting from this high tech society, right? But yet but some people choose to live how they want to live.
Yeah. No. Their tradition was a big thing in this movie.
Yes.
And that was no better place seen than in Wakandan society, where some people live the traditional, whatever, that might have been for them. Like there's a mining clan, a river clan, there's the border clan, and the
Mountain Clan.
And there's the Mountain Clan, and then there's the one that's like, did I say traders? And there's a trader clan. But they all have different aspects. Some members of Wakandan society live in the city and interact with the technology, but a lot don't. And they make a good point of, like everybody in Wakanda seems to be happy.
Yeah.
There's no like downtrodden or anything like that. People who are living simple life are doing so because they want to.
Right. Everyone seems happy.
And they're taken care of as part of the greater society, but they live that way because they want to, because that's their tradition.
Right.
So
there's a lot of cool things. There's a lot of, we don't give away any secrets in the non-spoiler part, but Michael B. Jordan is Eric Killmonger, right? It was an excellent villain, right?
Yeah.
One with you have actually empathy for, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you actually feel for him, up to a point.
Yes.
Yeah. And you're like, you look at this movie, you watch this movie, you're like, things could have gone a little bit differently here or there.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Freeman was in it a lot more than I expected.
Yeah. I really liked his role in this movie. Really good.
I liked it a lot better than I did in Civil War.
Have you heard the joke about the Martin Freeman and Andy Serkis?
Yeah.
Where they're the Tolkien bad guys?
The Tolkien
white guys.
Yeah. Yeah, the Gollum and Bilbo.
Gollum and Bilbo.
The Tolkien white guys in the movie.
Yeah.
That is good.
It was pretty funny. I heard that.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, that's good.
But I mean, the cast is amazing. The Peter Nyong'o, forget her character's name, but as the love interest.
Yes.
Yeah. Nakia. Denai Guerrera is the general.
Yeah. She was awesome.
Okay. She was amazing as always. I'm a big fan of her in Walking Dead as Michonne. She's kicks ass there too. But yeah, I gotta agree with you. Letitia White as Shuri is pretty much the standout in this. She's
just a really fun character.
Yeah.
Her attitude and her kind of like, it was just a lot of fun. She had some great one-liners and things like that. So
yes, it was pretty good. So, all right. Before we get into spoilers, was there anything? A really good movie, really good cast. Mm-hmm. Was there anything when you downsized this at all?
Not without going into spoilers.
Okay, so
there are a few. I would not have given it the 100% that all of the critics seem to be giving it,
right?
Because there are a few issues, but those are major spoilers, so I'm not going to go into those afterwards.
I was going to say the only issues I have with it are spoilers, so I won't. I will reveal them in the spoiler side of it. But I mean, they're not enough to take away from the enjoyment of the movie.
This is still an A+ movie.
Oh yeah.
It deserves the praise it's getting. A lot. Those people who might be afraid of the politics or something like that, of the social issues that are brought up, they are woven into the story so well that they do not hit you over the head with it. It's not like, race, poverty, or whatever you're going, whatever the issues are.
Right.
They're not hitting you over the head. They're just woven into the story.
Yeah.
They motivate some of the characters. That's it.
Yeah, the movie makes some statements, but they're not. Nothing is, like you said. The example I brought in mind is Bright.
Right.
Where Bright has issues, but they're like in your face, over the head. As with this movie, like I said, they're woven in. So, but yeah, I mean. All right. So, overall, really good movie. Mm-hmm. What would you rate this movie?
Oh, it's definitely an A.
Definitely an A?
Possibly an A+. 96, 97%.
You said it was like the third best Marvel movie?
I think it's the third best made Marvel movie. It's not necessarily third on my favorites list. That really gets really hard with 20 Marvel movies out. All
top
of
five?
them good. It's definitely top 5, I would say. Yeah. I skirted with saying 4 earlier. I'm not entirely positive about that because there's so many good ones that have come out recently. And even in the past. So maybe jockeying with Homecoming for really high up there, or Guardians of the Galaxy for really high up there. I have not really. After my first 2 or 3, I don't rank them anymore because they're all just like, it's too hard.
Yeah, you're like,
So,
okay.
anyways.
All right, guys, here we are. Spoilers. So going forward, like a spoiler warning somewhere on your screen, wherever I put it. And then
You've been warned.
you've been warned. So, in 3, 2, 1, spoilers.
Everybody dies.
They all die.
No, just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, where do everybody does kind of die as far as bad guys go.
All a front.
We'll start
Yeah,
off-
one of
we'll start
one
off
of
there.
the issues that Marvel has with bad guys, with villains, is they keep killing them off.
Yeah,
They
have really great villains, and
especially
they
the
die.
ones that are strong.
Yeah.
Loki is the only strong villain who has remained through multiple versions, and I like the way they're playing him as a conflicted character because that's how he is in Norse mythology.
Yeah.
That's how he is
The
in
comics,
the comic books,
yeah.
at least to a degree. Sometimes he's a good guy, sometimes he's a bad guy because he's the god of mischief.
Yeah.
So, anyways, but you have here, in my mind, the second and third best villains you've ever had.
That's how you find out who you're dealing with.
I lived my entire life waiting for this moment. I trained, I lied, I killed, just to get here.
Tell me something. What do you know about Wakanda?
And you kill them both off.
and they both die.
So that's one of the big drawbacks of this movie.
I was surprised how quickly Claw
Yes.
died. I mean, he kind of had to for the story, but
The way the story was built, they
both deaths make sense. So they're not just like extraneous deaths, right?
they do, yeah,
They
do.
both make sense story wise. I just, you're like, oh, they had to.
Just really disappointed because they were such good.
Yeah.
This is one area where I wish Marvel was more comic booky.
Yeah.
Where they would give those villains the last second out to let them go to be an issue in the future.
Yeah.
So that was my biggest issue. Other than that, I didn't really have any real problems with the movie.
My only other issue, I would say, another issue up there with that was Daniel Kaluuya's Wakabi's character. The turn he came across. I mean, there was a turn, and then a turn back,
Right.
and it was kind of pretty sudden. They kind of set him up as more like a brother figure, like a friend figure in the beginning, right?
Yeah,
I
although he's supposed to be the mirror to Killmonger in that they both hold on to that death of their father.
Yeah.
To a destructive degree, whereas T'Challa is able to let that go.
Yeah.
I mean, his father was killed by a bad guy too.
Yeah.
And the bad guy's in prison, not dead, and he was able to let that go.
Yeah.
Whereas neither of these people were able to.
Right. No, I mean, it just seemed to me, I understand that, but it just seemed, they set him up. They don't really show how he's conflicted in the beginning, right? It wasn't until he failed to get Claw that it was like a quick turn after that. It just seemed like there wasn't enough build up for that quick turn.
I mean, he makes a point of, pointing out that was T'Chaka's one failing was that he never caught Claw because Claw was, caused his parents' death. But yeah, he didn't seem like that was a make or break for him.
Right.
He wasn't on a crusade out there by himself looking for Claw every waking minute.
Yeah.
So,
and the thing was that it was one failure. It's like, unlike his dad, he made the attempt, even when some of the council was saying not to.
right, yeah.
Right. He made the attempt to go bring him in.
Right.
They failed at that mission, but that was the first attempt. The
Yeah.
first attempt he's actually made to go after him.
Right,
And on
yeah.
that one failed attempt, he's gonna be like, "Oh, you're just like your dad."
Yeah. Yeah, that.
Well, your dad never went after him. I mean, that was the point they made.
Yeah.
He actually was, like he told you he was going to go after him. So, they didn't make sense the turn, and it was kind of,
I
I don't know.
I guess that is one other. I guess not. I don't want to say it's an issue, but a lot. This has been happening a lot with Marvel movies lately. Not all of them, but some of them. Too many characters, and with that many characters, you can't fully develop all of their motivations. In In this one, I felt like everyone got their just desserts. They got plenty of. They've got enough motivation. You know, you didn't need more from the queen other than she was the queen. She's his mom, which she's technically not his mom, but they don't delve into that
Right.
comic book wise. She's stepmom.
Right.
But anyways, his sister's his sister. She's the tech genius, stuff like that. The general's dedicated to Wakanda. You know, they give these little bits here.
Yeah.
He just didn't get this thing that this was a bigger deal for him
Yeah.
than just than it being mentioned that, oh yeah, Claw was responsible for killing my parents. And, you know, I won't rest until they're avenged or whatever.
Yeah.
He just, promised me you'll get him or something like that. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
I'll get him.
I'll get him. Yeah.
And then he didn't. Okay, but yeah, that he
But he
would
made the
then
attempt.
turn on his
Yeah.
king
Yeah.
and side with the other side.
It seems odd. And the thing is, even I could buy it up until T'Challa came back, right? Because even Oki, the general, Denai Guerrero's character, she was like, I can understand her, like, because if he won the fight, became king,
Right.
Them going, all right, he's the new king, we got to follow him, right?
Right.
So at the very end, when he shows up again and shows like, hey, I wasn't defeated and I didn't yield,
Right.
so he's not king.
Well, I
So-
wasn't killed,
I wasn't
and I
killed,
didn't yield.
and-
Those are the two ways the contest can end.
Yeah.
You may have defeated me, but you didn't kill me, and you
Yeah.
didn't. So yeah.
Seeing that he was alive, Denai Guerrero's character, who is dedicated to Wakanda to the point where she was even going to follow the new
Well,
king.
she follows whoever's on the throne.
Right.
That's her
She was like,
dedication.
well, he's not king, so, but, Daniel
didn't
Daniel
turn.
Kaluuya's character didn't. He still followed Killmonger.
He's
And
like,
that
well,
was the
I'm
time.
in.
At that point, you realize, okay, yeah, then that's the turn. And I was like, okay, well, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for someone who's their brotherly,
Yeah.
and then to do this.
In for a penny, in for a pound, apparently.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hatred makes you do a lot of strange things. So, but yeah, it was. But other than that, there wasn't really. And those weren't issues that I had. Those were things I wished we got more of, or that I wish we could have more Claw. I wish we could have
Yeah.
more with Daniel Kaluuya's character, who was cool, to explain his motivations a little bit more.
This-
but none of that took away from it. It wasn't like, oh, that's a bad thing.
It didn't. And here's the thing. It would have been nice if this had been a two-parter.
Yeah.
It was not possible because of what they were running into with Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't split this onto either side of Infinity War. It just wasn't going to work out.
Right.
But this would have been so good if it were two separate movies.
Yeah.
Because then you could have, movie one was developing the whole, Claw's the bad guy. Killmonger's just a just a sidekick, blah blah blah. Then the
switch.
turn.
Yeah,
then
turn
the
for there.
switch. Oh, now Killmonger's the villain, and then a whole movie about that. Because everything did kind of happen very quickly.
Yeah.
After, because Claw dies about just shy of halfway through the movie, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty close to the halfway point, a little before, I think. And then from there, it's like he gets to Wakanda, he kills Claw, he gets to Wakanda, he gets to challenge the king, he beats the guy who's been training all his life to be king, to be the Black Panther, relatively handily. That kind of upset me. You could make the argument that he's used to having the Black Panther powers, so it was, he's not as effective. But he beat Man-Ape without the Black Panther's powers.
Yeah.
And this guy beat him relatively easy. He got, took 2 early hits, but then it was all him.
Yeah.
But then you go to we're going to take over the world,
Right.
and Black Panther's back. And,
Well, he
and
trained
just
for that
boom,
his whole
boom,
life,
boom,
though,
boom,
and he
boom.
was. And they set him up as, he was a SEAL. He was on to kill
Yeah,
teams. He
yeah.
was, they made him, and he went out and purposely trained himself
to do that.
to defeat.
Yeah.
So he probably, studied whatever, Wakanda fighting or whatever,
Maybe, yeah.
So, it was a little sound, but then you look at the two compared, Robert B. Jordan next to, Chadwick Boseman. Not that Chadwick Boseman's small by any means, but,
Yeah. Yeah, Jordan, he got buff for this.
well, he got buff for Creed. and then
Yeah.
stayed buff for this.
Yeah. So
So, but yeah, I mean, there was. All right, I want to make a comparison here and ask you your opinion on it because I didn't get a chance to after the movie.
Okay.
Are we both in agreement that this is a better movie than the first Thor movie? I think it is.
more well made.
Yeah, I think it's a better movie overall. You had to-
Yes, I
Okay.
think so. Yeah.
Now, both of them dealt with Shakespearean concepts of family and betrayal, and father stepping down or stepping up to
Right.
rule and what it means to be a good ruler and stuff like that. What about this movie puts it over Thor, the first Thor movie, as a better movie? Because I think, and I have my opinion, but I want to hear what yours. What?
The
Because they're very similar. Not
This-
I mean, they're pretty different when you look at
they're
them.
yeah they're very
But-
different.
But the
Surprising-
themes are similar.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, this is more of a superhero movie than that one was. There are way more action sequences. There's
Yeah.
way more fights. There's way more Black Panther than there was Thor in the Thor movie. Because Thor's movie is largely about him coming to grips with being humble.
Yeah, it was about him and his
Yeah.
journey.
The other thing I would say about it as far as being a better movie was a stronger cast.
Yeah, that was the one thing I was going to
Yeah.
say. That was
You
my
had
reasoning behind this.
3 really good people in Thor. I thought, Chris Hemsworth, Tom Hiddleston, and Thor.
Chris Hemsworth?
No,
Thor and-
not Thor. Odin.
Oh yeah,
Blanking on the
Anthony Hopkins.
yeah. I'm all sir. Yeah, Anthony Hopkins. Those 3 great performances in that movie.
Absolutely, yeah.
Not that anybody else in that was bad.
But the
they're
cast
just
wasn't
they're
as
just
well-rounded.
down. It's not they don't get as much time. I like Natalie Portman generally. She wasn't great in this movie.
Yeah.
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 It was just this is a better cast that gets better time, moments to shine.
Right.
Their characters are just as little as you get of them, and it's probably because they're archetypal. They're not trying to break any molds.
Right.
These characters fill an archetype that lets you easily identify what they're supposed to be. Then you get the actors take on their character quirks
Yeah.
that flesh them out as people.
Right.
So you're like, oh, the head of the bodyguards who's uber loyal.
Uber loyal to the throne.
But she's got these quirks about, teasing him and stuff
Yeah.
like that. You got the sister who's the super genius who likes to buck the rules.
Yeah.
You get all of these things that, like, ooh, here's an archetype, and then twist it
Yeah.
with the actor. And they did great. in
and that's
that.
just enough you need to give them the personality they need to actually
Yeah.
be more than an archetype.
Then they're unique. They're
Yeah.
unique, fun, well-developed characters, but they're easily identifiable of what role they have to they're
Right.
playing, so that you don't have to spend time establishing that.
Right.
You just put them in it and go.
Yeah, I'll say with Thor, and it's odd that I made this comparison, but just the themes of those, the Shakespearean aspect of the movies,
Sure, yeah.
is what made me think of Thor. Thor was about Thor himself and about his journey,
Mm-hmm.
right? As where we got Black Panther battled his demons in Civil War, right? So we got his
Yeah.
build up, and his big conflict and demons were, overcoming his anger, the loss of his father, and stuff like that. And we
Yeah.
got that out of the way in Civil War. And in this movie, not that he wasn't the main character, right? This is about him coming into his own now and accepting the
Yeah.
throne. This is more, but the cast, because we got that out of the way, right? This movie, the story was able to focus on a wider cast, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you said. There's only a handful of people in Thor that they dealt with. Like the Warriors 3 were there, but they didn't have.
Yeah,
They were archetypes.
Sif was
They were-
developed, but the others were not.
Yeah, exactly. So,
And even she was only somewhat developed.
right.
Yeah.
So there was as where we got to know, like you said, all these characters here. We cared about these characters. We related more to them, maybe
Yeah.
because they're
Yeah,
mortal and the others are gods. Who knows? But I think that's what puts it over the edge. So both good movies. Don't get me wrong. I really
Yeah,
liked the first
no,
Thor
yeah,
movie, but this one, as far as your Shakespearean superhero movie, I think this one does it better.
Yeah.
and there's why this one is up there and why it's 98 or whatever it is on Rotten Tomatoes right now or whatever.
Yeah, something. Really. I'm curious to see what say around Sunday, maybe Saturday, Sunday, see what the audience score is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
This made me, when I came out of the movie, go, wow, if this one was this good with as much as it had to establish Wakanda in society, how good is the next one going to be?
Yeah.
Where that's all just given. It's the background. We know it. We don't have to spend time building it up, developing it. We just get to launch right into the story. How much better is that going to be?
Yeah.
If you've got all of these actors returning, and I hope they bring back the writers and directors.
Oh, yeah. Well, they were saying, Kevin Feige was saying he wanted to bring back the director for...
At least the director. I mean, maybe bring in writers who have a different story to tell. Maybe these guys already told their story and they're good to go. Yeah. But it was a tight, well-developed story, I thought.
Oh, yeah. It was. It was just a great script, great cast, great director. It was just the combining of all those. It's what they've been doing lately, right? It's the same thing with Thor Ragnarok. A completely different spectrum kind of a movie, but the same thing. They got a director, they got a very talented director who had a vision. They had a great cast.
Let him go.
And they let him go. And that was an ensemble movie too.
Yeah.
Where it wasn't just about Thor.
Right. You had 4 characters. I mean,
yeah.
Taika Waititi made the point of this is Thor's movie, and they made Thor very prominent.
Right.
But all 4 of those main characters get a chance to shine.
Yes.
Which is cool. And you say, this is Black Panther's movie, but Michael B. Jordan, Lupita
Nyong'o, yeah, Nakia, she's a great character.
Yeah, they're all well developed. They even do a great job because he's in the comics. Ross's character, Martin Freeman's.
Yeah.
He's a big part of the comic books, and they gave him that big part, and he had his moments to shine too.
Oh yeah, I was disappointed in his role in Civil War because the character in the comics, I'm like, they got such a big person to play him.
Yeah,
right?
I think it was a good way to introduce him.
Yeah, I guess, but it was it was odd that you got someone that big for that just introduction of a role.
Yeah,
it pays off in this movie though, and I thought for a moment they were going to kill him off in this movie, and I was like, oh man.
Yeah, I think they'll keep him.
Yeah,
and it was really good. It's all excellent stuff. Let's talk about the social issues and the political kind of undertones, because that's, I think, what some people are worried about, or some people really praising it for that. Some people are really worried about it.
Yeah.
What did you think of those?
I thought it was done really well. Like you said earlier, it was not in your face. And like I said, I made the comparison earlier with Bright, where, a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it, I guess. But I think it's a very important movie, right? And it's got very important issues, but they're woven into the fabric of the story, right? To the point where, like I said, you can see Killmonger's side, right? He's a very relatable character, and it was, and you even like with him up until a point. You're like, man, if these guys could just sit down and talk, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe he's too damaged for that. But
that was what I was hoping for at the end. Is they're going to go like, okay, we can repair you, we can heal you.
But he was too damaged for that.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Unfortunately. And you said that you thought Civil War, Black Panther has his critical moment, his crisis moment.
Yeah.
I disagree. I think it was here when he was talking to his father in the afterlife, when they're bringing him back. Again, spoilers here. They think he's dead. They find him in coma.
Yeah.
They give him the heart-shaped flower to give him back Black Panther powers, and he can go into like this ancestral memory. And he encounters his father there, who says, "Oh, it's time to come home. This is your time to pass." And he calls him on his, you killed your brother.
Yeah, you created.
You didn't bring, you didn't bring him
his
back. You didn't bring the son back. He didn't have to be this way. It's your fault. This is your mistake, and I'm going to fix it.
Right.
Which I think that was his big crisis moment. Is he's standing up and saying,
he made the decision to go against the 1,000 years of Wakanda, policy, and just made that decision based on that. It's like, you know
Yeah.
what? Because he put his father on a
It's
shelf.
this secrecy that,
Yeah, he idolized his father. Then he realized, but his father told him. He says it's hard to be a good man and a great king
Right.
at the
yeah.
same time, right?
Yep.
There's a king's got to make certain decisions,
Right.
and that was the last step he needed in preparation to make him a great king.
Yeah.
Right? Is that realizing that not everything his father did was perfect, and he needed to go his own way.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would say that the Wakanda secrecy created Killmonger. That's what Black Panther. Yeah. T'Challa is saying is if we didn't have that, could have brought him back. Killmonger wouldn't have had to have been like he is.
Right. Now I thought, like I said, I was worried when he left this kid, when he goes at the very beginning of the movie.
Right.
When they left the kid there, I was like, "What? You're gonna abandon the kid after killing his dad? Really? I mean, I don't care what the dad did. You gotta take that kid. He's family."
I guess I
know?
didn't really make the connection that kid was his.
Yeah.
Until later when they say
Well, later,
when he's explaining the story, when he commands Forrest Whitaker's character to tell him.
When the father was looking out the window down there at the basketball, he started on the kids, and he looked out down there. I'm like, okay, that his kid's down there. I didn't know which one it was at that time.
See,
but
at
I'm
that
like,
point, I thought he was just saying, "Oh, there's nobody down
Yeah.
there." Okay.
No, the way because that was his first concern was the kids playing. When there's something was going on, his first concern was to look down to check on the kids down there and playing basketball.
Got it.
And I'm like, that's a father move. He's looking
right.
at he's looking at his son down there. And at that, like I said, at the time I didn't know which one of the kids was his son, but I'm
Right.
like, okay, that's his kid's down there. So, and I didn't even know who was coming after him yet. Whether who he was. We didn't get that part yet, but but then I'm like, when I realized it was King T'Chaka, and it was like, he just left his kid. That's your nephew. You
Yep.
just left your nephew there, and you're like, to find his dead dad that you just killed. I'm like, oh, that's a rough decision. But I mean,
Yeah.
when you've got 1,000 years of that ingrained in you to protect at all costs,
Right.
the weight of protecting your people and the way you think to do it is this secrecy. I can see killing his brother. I can see that. As messed up as that is, he was
Right.
protecting one of his men,
One of his subjects,
One of his
yeah.
subjects, he just had to do it.
You were going to murder one of my subjects, so
But leaving the kid there, I was just like, wow,
Yeah.
that is a rough decision to make. And it almost cost him his son later on.
right.
So,
So, anyways, we were discussing the social and
Sorry,
political
yeah.
issues when we would devolve in that tangent.
Yeah.
But anyways, so that's the son then latches on to. I mean, and this is very much. It's not. It talks about oppression, oppressed people. I mean, he definitely, he ties it to black people, to being oppressed all over the world.
yes.
And
3 billion people in the world that look like us.
why hasn't Wakanda done anything
Yeah.
about it? So, very much an analogy to stuff like Black Lives Matters and
Yeah.
things like that. But other than that's his, and it comes from both sides. I don't want to make it seem just the bad guys are coming out there. He's also approached by his love interest, who's saying, we should do more to help people.
Yeah.
She's the one who actually plants the seeds of, we could do
We need
more
more.
by helping refugees, by sending aid.
Yeah, it was almost kind of like a Martin Luther King, Malcolm X kind of dynamic, almost.
Yeah, true. I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah.
But whereas, Martin Luther King is the girlfriend,
Yeah.
and Malcolm X is the bad guy
Yeah.
in this,
Yeah,
again, sympathetic bad guy because you can see his point of view.
Right.
Your father murdered my dad.
Right.
You have all of this wealth and technology. You could be helping people.
Yeah,
of course, then he's embittered, so he wants to use that
Right. And he grew
wealth
up-
and technology to
he
dominate.
Grew up, he grew
people.
up and saw the suffering that the underclass had to go through, right? And
Right.
then how he's from a society that
That's
has
interesting.
all
That you
this
brought,
much.
I hadn't even made that Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, because he wants to use, he wants violent resistance.
He wants violent resistance.
overthrow the authorities,
And
and she wants to,
The peaceful-
use,
yeah.
help, lend aid, be an example, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So very cool. I hadn't even thought about that, but or connected it to historic figures. I knew which sides they were coming from, but I
Right,
hadn't
yeah.
connected it to the historic figures. So that's cool.
So
So, And that's, I mean, so that's kind of the political undertones.
Right.
Again, it's just woven into the story. It's never really, they address, kind of specific issues, like when you first, the encounter you see in the previews where he's attacking the people in that train, in the trailer, I thought they were invading Wakanda.
Yeah.
Or they were trying to steal something. No, it turns out they're slave trading.
Slave trading.
They've got a bunch of women round out. They're going to take and sell as sex slaves or something like that. And
Nakia's in there.
and she's in there. She's actually in there on purpose. She's
Yeah.
a spy. She's trying to destroy the slave trading ring or whatever it is.
Right.
And he's got to take her out because he's going to become king and he wants her.
Yeah, he needs her there. Yeah.
So that was interesting that it was a specific, African problem that they were bringing to light in the movie.
Yeah.
But again, it's done as part of the story. It's not preachy or anything
Right,
like that.
exactly.
It's just
It's
there.
I mean, that would be part of their everyday, stuff they had to deal with.
Correct,
With their,
yeah.
Their neighbors and everything like that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it made sense within the movie, and like you said, it wasn't,
It's not beating you over the head with it.
yeah. Wow, slave trading is bad. Well, yeah, well,
Yes.
just assume you know that without having to preach that to you.
Yes.
And you go on from there. But yeah, it's, like I said, I even like the like his speech at the end to the UN.
Yeah.
Right, makes a speech, takes a little jab, kind of at Donald Trump there. He said like, wise men when times are hard, a wise man builds bridges, and then a foolish man builds barriers.
Yes.
Yeah, he didn't quite call it a wall, but he said barrier.
barriers.
We know what he was talking about.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other
So-
thing. There is a social undertone too about what do you do with wealth and
Yeah.
technology and power and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you keep it to yourself? Do you shut out the rest of the world? Do you become isolationist?
Yeah, it's very much it very much had a class and social issues told from the perspective of the good guys being the ones in power with the which is not something you see normally when movies that tackle these issues usually don't see it the good guys side of it being
Yeah.
on the side of wealth and privilege. You see those are
Yes.
the bad guys.
Yeah.
So it is a unique switch on that whole thing. So man, there's so many layers of this movie. It's just this is why it transcends a superhero action film.
Right.
Right. This is what makes it an important movie. What's the reason why, the difference between, an Avengers movie where you're just going there for a good time to see your superhero
See him beat up
people.
aliens and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah.
I mean, which was great. Those are great movies. But this is what elevates this to make this a more important movie. Is those underlying social issues
Right.
and the different layers of this movie that you just you go through it and you're like, wow. I mean, like I said, this is just from we only saw it the one time.
Yeah, we haven't seen
And
it
this is our initial reactions. Like we just came back from the movie and we're throwing it out there. But I'm curious. I want to see. I'm curious now. I want to go watch some of the other reviews of this.
Oh, right.
And see what other people
See
thought
what
about
people
this.
are saying. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
I wonder if everybody's going to agree that. What's the sister's name? I can't remember.
Shuri.
Shuri.
Yeah.
I wonder if anybody else thought she was the standout character. 'Cause
Yeah.
she was a great character. I
She
love her
was a great
character.
character.
She's so much fun. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
just
And it's-
definitely.
And then just briefly here, we want to touch on the end credit scenes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So first one was the UN speech where
Yes.
he makes a decision throughout the movie that he's actually they're going to share their technology. Probably not all of it, but a certain he's going to
they're going to open up to the world and
Open up the
start,
world. There's going to be
stuff.
social outreach and there's going to be technological
Right.
sharing, right, to the world. And he makes a speech to the UN about that. And one of the guys like, well, yeah.
What are
all
a
due
bunch of
respects, what is Wakanda going to offer?
What a bunch of farmers, and shepherds are going to offer to
Yeah,
the world.
he just kinda
kinda
smiles.
smirks. Yeah.
Yeah, if only you knew. And then
Yeah.
the end credit scene was the one I was waiting for the entire movie. Was Bucky,
Yep.
and not on deep freeze. He actually, I'm wondering if they managed to get all the
Programming
out of his head because it sounds like he looks.
Yes, he sounded better. He's minus an arm. They
Yeah.
have not given him an arm. I don't know if that's because they're not positive or they think that'll trigger something.
Right.
But he doesn't have his arm. she acts like perfectly fine. You know,
Yeah.
Shuri's the one.
Let the kids go there and tease him or wake him up.
Well, yeah, it's hilarious because when Martin Freeman gets injured during the movie,
Yeah.
and they bring him to Shuri, he's got a spinal cord in.
Yeah.
He's shot in the spine. Shuri's the one who cures him.
Yeah.
In a day, he's back up, no wound, up and moving.
Yeah.
So they've got some awesome technology, awesome medical technology.
Yeah.
So she seems perfectly confident that Bucky is back to being just himself.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Yeah, it was way cool. And I love the.
But she has the line.
Yeah. It's like,
line.
oh, cut another broken white boy for me to fix.
Yeah.
I was like, that's perfect.
It was pretty
That was a
nice.
nod without actually having to call out, Steve Rogers or Bucky.
That Bucky's there. Yeah.
Bucky's there or anything else. Just that throwaway line. You're like, okay, we all know. If you're a Marvel fan, you know what you're talking about.
Yes.
And that was all I needed.
Yeah.
I was expecting like the entire movie, like if they're gonna like running through a hallway and see like Bucky on in a tube somewhere.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But no, he waited till the very end credit scene. And
Yep.
he's up and around. And the reason why he's not in a tube is because they fixed him and he's
Just like out in the village someplace.
So that was a great scene. It was good seeing that.
Yeah.
A great lead-in for Infinity War.
Yes.
But speaking of lead-ins for Infinity War, the elephant in the room, there was no Soul Stone in this movie, or at least not a direct mention of it.
Yeah.
Right? No direct. I mean,
Yeah. No, I don't think there's a stone in Wakanda at all. It doesn't make any sense.
well, it seems like there's going to be a big showdown in Wakanda. There's a big reason like Thanos is going there.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe the stone's in the middle of the vibranium meteor that they're mining.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, other than that, I can't think of why they.
Right. I mean, I don't know where the stone is. In the
There was
movie.
no reference to it could be in this.
And I'm all
Shuri,
about
this-
the connectivity of the Marvel universe, right? I'm one of these guys who love all the little tie-ins, the cameos, and the references to other movies. But I have to admit, I'm glad the the Infinity Stone wasn't brought up in this movie, because this movie's story and everything else was this was the story that needed to be told.
Right.
Right. And I don't think it didn't need, like, the one throwaway line without even a mention of a name was enough, to tie it in there. And then the links to Civil War in the very beginning of the movie was enough to link it. It didn't need to have a Infinity Stone in
Right.
the movie.
Yeah.
And the end credit scene was enough. So I'm kind of glad they didn't. Right.
Yeah.
I think as great as this movie is, I think any mention of an Infinity Stone would be like the Thor bath scene in Age of Ultron, where you're just kind of shoehorned in and you're like,
Yeah. Why
Right.
is this here?
why is this there? Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't have it in there. But yeah, overall, yeah, man, this movie is right up there. I
Definitely go
think
see it.
It's up there. It is definitely in my top 5, right?
Yeah.
If it wasn't for my love of the Hulk or my my rose-colored glasses view of Avengers that I can't,
Yeah.
there's no,
That's like I said. I will put this as number. In my opinion, it's the third best crafted
right.
of the Marvel
I think you and I
movies.
both agree that Winter Soldier is the best.
Winter
movie.
Soldier is the best crafted of the.
Yeah.
You just can't. That
As far as a movie
story
goes.
is just it's so well done. I think Thor Ragnarok was a totally different tonal movie, but I think it was very, very well crafted. They're just getting geniuses to direct these movies now.
Yeah. It is.
These guys. I hope this. Who was the director of this one?
Ryan Coogler.
Ryan
Directed
Coogler.
Creed.
They need to bring him back.
Oh, yeah.
Sign him for whatever you give him, however much money you need
Yeah.
to get him back on for the next Black Panther,
Yeah.
because this was out of the park. This was a whole,
Yeah. Have you seen Creed?
No.
Oh, yeah,
no.
so Creed is an amazing movie, and I was when I first heard about Creed, they're doing Creed. I'm like, why did they want to spin off Rocky? Rocky is a great series. They ended with Rocky Balboa was a great ending. It corrected 5. Right?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, okay, why just end there? Why are you doing a spin off? But that movie is amazing, and Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler are the reason why that movie's such an amazing job.
That's
and
cool.
Tessa Thompson's in that movie.
Oh, nice.
too.
Who
So,
goes in?
Yeah, so
Thor
Ragnarok. So
so,
yeah,
and that's the other thing. They're getting great people to play in these movies.
oh yeah.
I mean, they did a great job of casting their core heroes, but now all of these new movies they're bringing, yes, they're knocking it out of the park with who they choose for the main hero,
Right.
who they choose as their supporting cast.
And a big strength of Marvel is the fact that they they call it the Marvel family, right? You like listen, you talk to these actors, they all enjoy working with each other, right? There's no drama to the point where they hire these actors and they're all willing to come back again and again to play these roles,
Yeah.
right? And they're attracting big names for
Who want to direct? Who want
direct,
to act in them?
act in it, yeah. Even if it's just like I said, Glenn Close and Kurt Russell, and they have
even
Robert
for
Redford. I
small
mean, who would
parts,
think
yeah.
if he used to be in superhero movies?
Yeah.
That these characters would be in superhero movies. And you're like, wow, really?
That's
But,
why
yeah,
I feel bad for Michael B. Jordan.
yeah,
Can't get a break with a comic book movie.
yeah.
I mean, he was great in this movie, but they
Yes.
killed him off.
Yeah.
It would have been so bad. It's so
Yeah.
awesome if you'd got him in another one.
And even in the horrible train wreck that was Fan Four Stick, he was not the problem, right? He's a great actor. I mean, I've liked Michael B. Jordan since Chronicle, so
Oh, okay.
that was the found footage superhero movie. So
Right.
he's really good at that. So
It's funny. Every time you say Chronicle, I think Chronicles of Riddick.
Chronicles of Riddick, not Narnia, or
No, not Narnia. But anyways,
Some
we're
kind of Chronicle
we're
movie. All right,
straying
guys.
way off base here. So
Black Panther is an amazing movie.
you definitely need to go see this.
They hit it out of the park with this one. You need to see this movie. It's important. It's up there in importance with as like Wonder Woman was last year.
Yeah.
Black Panther is the important movie this year that you need
I
to see.
would agree. That's a great way to put that. Yeah.
So I mean, it's even if you're not a superhero fan, of course. If you're not, I don't know why you're watching this channel, but welcome anyway. This is a great movie that everyone needs to see. And if you are a superhero fan, this is just proves that they can superhero movie. It
Doesn't have to be a popcorn movie.
Yeah,
It can have real weight to
superheroes
it.
not a genre anymore. Like it used to be. It used to be its
True.
own genre, right?
Yes.
Superhero movie now is just a backdrop for many genre of movies,
Yeah.
right?
It can be.
Whether space adventure, action comedy, suspense, political thriller.
Yep.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
John
Hughes movie.
Yes, John Hughes. High school movie or political social commentary movie. They're with the superhero backdrop. Marvel. This is why Marvel's
Yeah.
killing it. Why they're the number one franchise in the world. So
Yeah.
they just did it once again, and wow. And the way they switched gears, went from Thor Ragnarok to Black Panther to going into Infinity War. 3 totally different kinds of movies.
Yeah.
Its tone and everything else, and it all
With the same characters.
with the same characters, and you're like, oh, it's gonna be
Go
great.
ahead.
So, all right, guys, thanks for watching the review. We really appreciate it. Go see the movie. Can't recommend it enough. If you want to help us out on the channel here, you can like, subscribe, tell your friends about us.
Yeah.
Help us hit our goal this year.
5,000 subscribers.
That's right. And if you want to support the channel, you can do so through our Amazon affiliate link down below. Buy one of our t-shirts out of our Teespring store down below, or you can support us directly through our Patreon link down below as well. So thanks for all your support, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.